and that's the job of everybody else, to make it out to believe that I was upset with the National Trust over the Dolphin Park, okay? And that I took out revenge on on National Trust by denying them money.
Speaking outside Parliament on Thursday, Chastanet sought to justify the lack of a subvention for the trust in the 2020-2021 estimates. He believes that the trust's mandate favors the few.
The police headquarters should be finished now. No, but the National Trust continues to believe that they have they're the caretakers of the patrimony of St. Lucia. They're not.
Okay? Or being in breach of our word as it took, what's it called, custody suites. Okay?
In the wake of the demolition, the National Trust has been left with yet another burning question. How can they, and moreover the people of St. Lucia, trust the word of the government after the state apparently reneged on an agreement made in good faith? The press posed this question to the Prime Minister.
Well, if I remember the written agreement very well, the last part of the agreement says that the government reserves the right to be able to act unilaterally. And so therefore every due consideration was given with regards to the building, and the decision was to move ahead.
The letter makes no reference to the government acting unilaterally with regards to further demolition works, but rather indicates that the agreement contained therein did not represent, quote, any legal obligation on the part of the government of St. Lucia to submit the development plans to the trust, end quote. Despite there not being any legal obligations on the part of the government, many have argued that the people of St. Lucia should be able to rely on promises made by senior representatives of the state. Does the Prime Minister consider Saturday's demolition to represent the government going back on its word?
Not at all. No, it doesn't, because the letter is very clear in terms of what the agreement was. We agreed that we would look into the buried prisoners. We did that. We looked to try to incorporate the designs into the building. We did that. In fact, the architectural drawings included that.
The walls are boxes, so how could the design be red?
That's an option that the government has.
Why should people trust the government that appears to go back on its word?
It hasn't gone back on its word. Again, show me in the document where we've gone back on our word. Thank you very much. Any other questions at this point? Any other questions? Thank you very much.
So you took the National Trust because you
So did you take the National Trust? To destroy a 200-year-old building. Who gave that order?
This is a very devious move on the part of the government as far as the trust is concerned. It's a dishonest move on the part of the government, and it's in bad faith.
I raised this concern with the Prime Minister. So even if the agreement with the trust is not legally binding...
Excuse me, any other questions?
Even if I did not agree with somebody, and even if somebody did something that I found very egregious, I would not use the power of my office to go after that person.
The St. Lucia National Trust has asserted that Janine Compton Antoine was the most suitable applicant to take up the leadership of the organization.
The relationship between myself and Janine has not been a good one. This is not a person that when we meet in public that we even shake hands. And so therefore to have somebody who has made it public her opinion about my party, so I don't think that she has the skill set to be able to develop the trust.
The marine biologist nomination was met with a rejection.
I have just basically have the right to do that.
Janine chose to resign from our party, and she decided to run independent. In addition to that, at the last elections, there were certain allegations that Janine made towards my government.
The Workers' Party candidate for Castries Central, Sir Flood Broben, says an allegation against former Agriculture Minister Ezekiel Joseph must not be taken lightly. Flood Broben was sorry that the matter had come up at this point, but she stated that an allegation has been made and must be taken seriously.
A former executive member of the United Workers' Party Women's Arm has come to her defense.
When women come out in St. Lucia and they say they have been assaulted, they have been raped, the culture of blaming the woman has to stop.
What's important, right? What's important is that in that conversation that there can be mutual respect on both parts.
You know, people keep saying my father's party, but for me right now what exists there is not what John Compton put or built